So here we are. We've made it to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, technically. And if y'all know where Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is, then Highway 17, which gets you in and out of there, there's a little town that's part of Myrtle Beach called Socastee, S-O-C-A-S-T-E-E. And Socastee is home of the Myrtle Beach Coin Exchange. This is what the building looks like. It's on the right side of the road if you're coming off I-17. Address 4232. And we're about to go inside and have some fun before we shoot our video inside. So see you in a bit. Hey YouTubers and JB Coins family, this is something we've talked about for a long time, is coming down to what is literally our favorite coin shop in the entire southeastern United States. As many of you know, my sweetie and I lived in the Charleston area for 6 years. And needless to say, there's lots of coin dealers down in this area and this region. We've attended a lot of the coin shows over the years, and we got to know David, who you're seeing on camera right now. And we have decided years ago that David is our favorite shop to hang out at and is the best shop and probably the best dealer in the southeast region of the United States. So we wanted to make our first ever choice of a coin shop to go visit on our channel to be David. And this is David from Myrtle Beach Coin Exchange. And if you want to come down and visit, his address is 4232 Socastee Boulevard, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And his phone number is 843-293-9000. This is not a paid commercial. This is us coming down to what we consider a friend, paying a visit. You can see in the corner over there is a pile of stuff that I've spent the afternoon and Sweetie spent the afternoon piling all that up, and we're gonna have to pay for it before we leave. But we love coming here. This is one of those shops that we talk about all the time on the channel, that you can come in here and you can literally, like today, spend an entire afternoon just shopping in the place and asking David questions and interacting with customers and find anything you can think of. So David, I'd like to say hi and say thank you for letting us come and name you the first dealer that we've ever done this for as the best coin shop to come visit in the southeast region. Congratulations on that. Thank you for being a very good friend of ours. Want to say hi?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. In a moment here, we'll switch the microphone from me to David so you can hear him better. Give you a quick pan here of his shop. It's a good sized shop. He's got a lot of selection in here. There's more stuff to the front here, but I can't swing completely around. But you can kind of see, and I don't want to go too fast, but you can see lots and lots of stuff. There's more in the back, obviously, too. But this is the customer area. And he's got all kinds of books and supplies. And then, of course, back over here, I'll tip this down for a second. We've got display cases full of all kinds of goodies. And so we're going to switch microphones here. And I'm going to give the microphone to David and let him talk a little bit about his shop. And then we're going to do a little Q&A. All right, so David, let's start with the basics. How long have you been into coin collecting, and how long have you had the shop?
Well, I started collecting coins when I was 7 years old, which was a little over 60 years ago. So, but I've been a coin dealer for about 25 years, and it's one of the things that I enjoy very, very much. So when you do something you enjoy this much, it's not really work.
Yeah, that's something that we talk about a lot on the channel as well, is if you're doing this and you're having fun, you know, that if the hobby becomes to be too much of your life and you're too absorbed in it, maybe you need to take a step back. That as long as you're having fun, then you know, keep doing it. And so that makes a lot of sense that you know, you come in here. It's very obvious when you come in and you interact with David that he's just a fun person to be around and extremely knowledgeable. What do you have any kind of specialty? Is there a particular type of coin or a particular type of product? I know you've got a ton of selection in here that you kind of consider to be your bread and butter or your main thing that you like to have in the shop at any time.
Well, we try to carry an assortment of almost all American coins. We do have foreign coins and a little bit of foreign currency, but that really isn't the thrust of our business, and we don't really handle ancients. But I try to have some of most all American coins, and certain coin series are much more prevalent or much more current and popular than others. Right now the Kennedy half series is hot, and the Lincoln coin series is very, very popular. Actually, that's what many people start with, is the Lincoln coin series. But I would say the Kennedy halves are probably the number one collected series right now.
That's interesting. We do our, as we've talked earlier while I was shopping, you know, we do our live streams 3 times a week, and that's all we do is going through the half dollars. And we've got our errand variety list that our folks can access to see what dates to look for, what the key dates are, that type of thing. So it's interesting to hear you say that the Kennedys are hot right now, because we've been trying to tell folks that, and we get a lot of feedback from some of the so-called experts that you know, the bench seat guys, that, you know, oh, half dollars aren't worth anything. And we always say, no, half dollars can be worth quite a bit. So
a lot of people are trying to put together sets of the Kennedys and trying to find some of the more recent ones, which of course are the silver proofs and the silver clads, is quite difficult. They're very highly sought after, but some of the early dates, to find them in decent shape is quite a chore.
Yeah, and you know, so needless to say, David's got a nice selection of those. I was checking some of them out in here as well. Basically, I've been in here almost the entire day that Dave's been, well, pretty much the whole day that Dave's been open. And I literally check every crevice I can get into in here, which I really appreciate Dave letting me do that. B, of course, has the things that she likes to search for and find, and we've got a few trinkets and treasures for her as well. You know, David, let's see, I'm trying to think. I mean, he's got all the normal things you'd expect in a coin shop. You know, silver, gold. He's got copper rounds. He's got some novelty items. He's got a lot of sets, a lot of mint sets, a lot of special sets, a lot of rolls. Just about every denomination American that I could think of. What comes to mind for you, Dave?
Well, we have a few of some of the odd things, like the colonials and some of the early commemorative coins, some of the large-sized currency sheet, well, some uncut sheets, which are kind of interesting. Some of the large-sized notes that you don't see very many of. Once in a great while, we'll get a large denomination note, but not so often anymore. We don't see a lot of that stuff very often anymore at all, but they're certainly highly sought after. Right now, silver and gold is a very hot item, but that's really more in the bullion area. And we don't specialize in that, but it's certainly a healthy percentage of our business.
Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned initially that besides the Kennedys, the pennies are pretty hot, and that's where a lot of collectors still start out with, and I think when we were kids, that was probably what a lot of us started out with.
I think that's where most collectors started years ago, but a lot of people still start with them today because you can still find wheat pennies in circulation, and the sets are actually doable with a reasonable budget. People that start out with Morgan dollars and try to do a complete set of Morgan dollars find that it's a little out of their budget when they get down to some of the really tough dates, or if they try to do the whole set in high grade, it's just awfully expensive. And you can do a date set, which is a little more affordable. Some people put together a piece dollar set, which is much more affordable. But the Lincoln set, you can put together a nice set of Lincolns, and it's affordable and doable. So it's just a nice set to put together, and there's a tremendous number of them because they've been making them for well over 100 years.
So for a new collector who's kind of overwhelmed at this point by all of the different denominations, the different sets that they can collect, where they're going to start, how they're going to do things, which we explain in all of our videos. If you were to pick a coin that, say they had a $50 or $100 budget, to get a special coin to put into their penny set, for example, or their $half set, is there anything that comes to mind that they should try and get that in the future, as they're growing into the hobby, that they can see some upside on that?
Well, rarity is always going to have value. Common date coins are always going to be common, but people regularly ask me, what should I collect, or what do you recommend? And my answer is always the same. Collect what you like. Don't collect what someone tells you to collect. If someone hands you a coin and they say, collect this coin, buy this coin, you're going to make money on this, turn around and run, because they're trying to make money off of you. You collect what you like. You look around and see what interests you and what attracts your eye. And if it only costs 50 cents or $1, that's all right. You don't need to spend a lot of money on something. People collect matchbook covers. You collect what you like and what attracts your eye. So I don't like to make a recommendation as far as what someone should collect. I collect what I like, not what you shouldn't collect what I like. You should collect what interests you and what you think is interesting. So there is no good answer to that kind of a question.
As far as shows, the folks know, because I talk about it in our live streams all the time. I give them weekly status updates about shows and things, events like that have continuously been canceled by us since all the COVID started. What's the situation down here with shows? Are you able to attend any shows yet?
Most of the shows have been put on, and people just take precautions, and they put the tables far apart, and they make the aisles really wide, and they require masks. So I haven't seen any of the shows to be canceled locally, but as a matter of fact, there's a few shows coming up there's always shows starting up in the spring, and I'm not aware of any shows that have been canceled here in the next month or so. Things seem to be getting a little bit better as far as that goes, but you never really know until you get within a few weeks of the show, and they may or may not cancel. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, and so you guys know, we actually met David at a show down in Charleston, and that's how we got to know him. Was we met him at that first show, and then we saw him at other shows that we attended over the years, and kind of built a relationship. Every show we always wound up at his booth, and we always wound up walking away with quite a bit of stuff. So if people would like to find out what show that you might be attending, if they can't make it here to the shop to Myrtle Beach, but you're attending one in Charleston or some other part of the region, what's the best way for them to find out where you're going to be?
Well, I mostly just, when I go to shows, I pretty much just walk the floor. I haven't been setting up at shows the last couple of years because I have such a large inventory now that I don't need to go to shows to pick up more material, pretty much. So if I go to a show, it's just because I'm there to meet with a bullion dealer or or someone like a supply dealer to pick up something specific. And so I actually haven't been setting up at any shows for the last 3 or 4 years. But you're welcome to call and see if there are any shows locally, because I'll certainly have that information. But I really just operate out of the shop right now.
Okay. And so yeah, so there you guys have it. I mean, like I said, Dave's a great guy, or David, and lots of information, and very straightforward, and a lot of fun, great sense of humor, very informative, and you know, this is a great place. You know, we talk about it a lot in our streams and in our videos about some of the coin shops that you go into. The dealer's grumpy, the place is a mess, you can't find anything, you can't get any help. That's not the case here. It's a very comfortable place to hang out, and David's a blast to hang out with. And you know, so if you're down in this region, if you're bringing the family to Myrtle Beach, he's about 5 minutes from the beach. You can always drop the family off and take a little cruise over here to the shop and kill some time, and maybe find some good stuff, meet David, or if the family's into the coins, you can bring them with. You know, it is just an amazing place to be able to wander around and see things you might not see other places, learn. He's got fossils in here, he's got megalodon teeth in here, he's got, you know, other things just besides the coins. But obviously coins is the main focus, and customer service is definitely his focus, which is why we feel extremely comfortable getting behind David and saying that this is our favorite coin shop in all of the Southeast. And we miss him enough that we come down here to see him, not to see the beach. We come down here to see him, like this trip, at least once a year, all the way from the Chicago area. So we wish it was more frequent. David always asks us to, you know, not be strangers as much, but it's a great place to come. And like I said, you're 5 minutes from the resort if you want to go do the resort thing, but you can also make a side trip into here if you're coming down for that, or you can make a day trip to the shop. And trust me, you're not going to walk out of here with the same amount of money you walked in with, because you're going to find something that you got to have, because he's got that much stuff in here that's this cool. And David, thank you for letting us come in and shoot the video and tell people about you. As you know, we consider you a very close friend, and have for years, and really look forward to trying to get some people to come in and say, hey, JB Coins told me to come in and spend some money in your shop. And
well, thank you for coming to visit, and I hope you come back soon.
We will, that's for sure. So thanks everybody for coming. Don't forget, it's Myrtle Beach Coin Exchange. It's technically in Socastee, but it is Myrtle Beach mailing address. So don't get scared or confused if you see that when you put it in your GPS. So, oh, what are your hours?
I'm here from noon to 5, Monday through Friday. And I would recommend you call first to be sure I'm here. It's safer to call first if you're to come in any distance.
Okay, good to know. Thanks again, and thank you everybody. Hopefully, you know, I don't know if we're going to do another one of these. This may be the only one we ever do, but David is clearly just stands out that much to us that we wanted to do this for him, as a thanks to him, and also as an informational thing to a lot of you folks that I know quite a few of you live within maybe a half an hour driving distance, maybe 5 minutes driving distance of David's shop. And so thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and sharing. See you at the next live stream or the next video. And until then, J&B signing out.